Shalom. Call hello Allah Yahawah by Shema Shah, which means all praises to Yahawah, which is the true name of the Heavenly Father, who you people in the world can call God. By Hashem, in the name of Yahawah Shah, which is the name of the only begotten Son, who you people in the world can call Jesus Christ. Once again, the true names of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son is Yahawah by Shema Shah. Shalom also to the brothers, you Akim that's pushing and spreading this word throughout the four corners of the earth, who's also uplifting the names Yahawah by Shema Shah. Shalom to you Akim. Shalom also to the Israelite foreigners, the speckled bird, man, woman, and child, whose bloodline traces back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Our forefathers, though you may look like the heathen nations that you're scattered amongst, which the heathen nations are the nations, as you see on this chart, is from 2 on down. Those are the heathen nations. Also, if your bloodline, your lineage goes back to these people, as you see on this chart right here, through the man, and if his spirit bear witness with this word, this truth, and you can receive it to the speckled bird, man, woman, and child, this does apply to you. You are Israelites, though. Once again, you do look like the heathen that you're scattered amongst due to the scattering of these people in this chart. So you will have Israelites come looking like the heathen, but they're indeed Israelites because they're under the curses of Deuteronomy 28, the 15th verse on down. Their spirit bear witness with this word. The day of the sons and daughters of Yahawah by Shema Shah. Most importantly, their lineage goes back to these people through the man, no matter what they come looking like. If their fathers an Israelite, then that makes them an Israelite as well. Also, to the few Akwafi, few Israelite sisters that do listen, learn, and believe, Shalom. Also to the elect of the nation of Israel, or if it may be scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, who these words going out to, Shalom to you as well. To you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you combine, consist, and make up the 12 tribes of Israel. You are the Hebrew Israelites, the chosen people of the Most High Yahawah and His only begotten Son, who you can call Jesus Christ, Yahawah Shah. And just get straight to it. Let's lock here.
Everybody out there who lives in a major metropolitan area, right now is the time you need to try your best to get out of the city. If you're still in a city right now, you need to get out, especially if you're worried about preparing for shtf style events. What we're witnessing right now going on in Portland, Seattle, Austin, Texas, every major city across the country is only going to get worse. So stick around for the rest of the video so we can talk about what's happening in major cities around the country, and we can talk about why it's going to get worse and what the experts are saying about how things are going to look shortly here in the future. Hey everybody, it's Magic Prepper, and today we're going to talk about why you need to get out of the city. You have to try to get out if you're in a city right now. Anyone who's preparing for shtf style events knows that the best thing you can do is avoid any kind of confrontation or avoid anything that's going to cause irreparable harm. And right now what I can see is that living in a city puts you at a much higher risk than living in almost any other part of the country. What we're seeing happening in cities like Portland, Seattle, Austin, all over the country is going to keep happening and only progress and get worse. And there's a lot of reasons behind that. But there's one main point of this video that I need you to take away from what we're talking about today, and that is that if you are in a major city and you're worried about your safety and you're worried about trying to prepare for shtf events, do what you can to try to distance yourself. Figure out something else. If you can get to a different house, a different town, if you can get a different job, all those things are things you should be working on right now if you value your safety and your property. Living in a major metropolitan area right now is not going to help you on either of those aspects. So if you're preparing for shtf, you're living in a major city right now and you're not sure what to do next, hit the subscribe button below, because I'm going to try to continually give you some advice if possible, or try to help you if I can, because I know a lot of people are trapped in those areas and may not have many options available to them in trying to escape. But I'm telling you right now, you have to do what you can to try to get out. It's only going to get worse in the cities. It is going to progress. We're going to see more and more of the same all over the country, and it's only going to get worse. The closer we get to November, the worse it's going to get. However, there's even more to this equation than what we're expecting leading up to the election, okay? So what has happened so far? Well, we're seeing a lot of unrest. We're seeing violence. We're seeing all kinds of riots and looting and burning and everything else happening through major cities all throughout the country. We're also at a point now where shots have been fired. And when I say that, I don't mean that shots haven't been fired in different situations that have gone on before now. However, shots are now being returned, okay? Return fire is occurring, and that is going to start escalating because we already expected this to happen, but now it is happening more and more. And as people on each side of the equation get more upset about the other people who are returning fire, it's only going to progress and get worse. So that's the situation we're in right now. Now, there was a report that came out about something called the Transition Integrity Project. It is basically a think tank of experts who are wargaming what may or may not happen post-election November. And what they're saying is something that we should at least take a look at and at least try to understand in order to prepare better for what's to come. So a lot of us right now, including myself, are preparing for November and for what's going to happen on the way there. And in my opinion, and in many other people's opinion, it's only going to escalate the closer we get to the election. However, this think tank has put together a report that has not quite been released yet, but they have given us some preliminaries. And what the preliminary thoughts are is that after November could be even worse, and that's because of different ideas when it comes to politics and everything else involved with them, as well as however the transition from one leadership to the next or maintaining the same leadership is going to be and going to look like. And as of right now, what they're predicting is street violence widespread throughout the country, okay? And street violence is very, broad in the sense of trying to describe things, but what we're seeing right now is definitely considered street violence. So imagine it widespread throughout the country and probably heightened further than what they're saying is happening right now. And a political impasse, which means there's no progress being made when it comes to any kind of election results. No one accepts the results of the election, and nobody's willing to let go of whatever it is they felt like should have happened. So these people are going to clash. Street violence is going to be widespread. And the thing that we should really be preparing for, and the thing that I need every one of you to understand, is that they were more concerned about the 11 weeks from the election to the inauguration than they were about the time before. So some of us are aware of the idea that escalation will occur closer and closer we get to November. But this think tank of supposed experts that are all in Washington, D.C. right now, that came together and war-gamed a bunch of scenarios that could happen during the election, decided that the 11 weeks after the election are going to be extremely tumultuous and extremely dangerous in the sense of how the people are going to be treating each other in that time. So,
All right, so that's good enough. But I always wanted to do a topic on this. You got now the new thing is if you in these major cities, you know, with these so-called preppers, is to flee, out of flee out of these cities. Which I'm not saying if you want to do that, then there's nothing wrong with that. But they think that they're gonna flee these cities and go hide somewhere, and they're basically gonna, you know, be good. If you get what I'm saying. And another thing you're hearing is that they believe that shit gonna hit the fan. That's what SHTF is, if you didn't know, which of course everybody knows that by now, right? But everybody's saying that it's gonna hit, in November. And the scriptures say clearly that, real quick, you know, just to get this real quick. I might be bouncing from scripture to scripture. Bear with me. It's Matthew 24, right? This is Matthew 24, and actually I get Jeremiah the 30th chapter. We've been getting this out, recently the most videos because this is the time we in now. Everybody sees it, at least everybody, pay attention. But this is Jeremiah 30:4. It says, and these are the words that the Lord spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. All you tribes, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, who are the Israelites, man. Okay? And those who look like the other nations, but they go back to our people too. Okay? For thus saith the Lord Yahawah by Shema Shah, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now, see whether a man to travail with child, wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned to paleness. And you know a man can't give birth. So what's it saying? It's saying men, the toughest men is gonna be afraid in these times. You know, it's already happening. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It's even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And who is Jacob? Jacob is you. Jacob is you Israelites. Okay, and this is what we in. We're in Jacob's trouble, man. It's not a coincidence that the this economic collapse that we're basically in. They saying that a lot of the evictions, you know, are going to be mostly minorities, aka you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, you're going to be the most impacted. It's not a coincidence because it's Jacob's trouble. But that's the time we in, and you know, you keep hearing people say it's going to hit, you know, when the elections or you know after the elections. But the scriptures say, you know, measure the time diligently. You know, because let me get this. This is let's get to the point. This is Matthew 34:24 and 36. It says, actually, I'll start at 34. It says, or 33. So it says, so likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, which, you know, the scriptures say the earth abide forever, because people might hear that and say that the earth is going to die. It's going to blow up. No. It's just a rulership, okay, of people that's in rulership. The nation that's ruling, which is right now the nation that's ruling is the Edomites, which the Edomites are the so-called white man in the seed line. That's who's ruling right now, okay? And his kingdom is passing away. But my words shall not pass away. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. So Yahawashi and the angels don't even know, okay, when this day is going to fully hit. Okay, but we, like it said in 2 Corinthians 9th chapter, we are to measure the time diligently. And you're seeing all the signs to tell you that we there, you know? But we don't know. But you got people saying, you know, it's going to hit, you know, right around election time. Well, we don't know that. But if it does hit, then good, you know? If it don't, it's going to hit eventually. You know, but Lord willing, it hits, you know, before that, you know? It says, but as the days of Noah, so also the coming of the Son of Man be, you know? For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took all them away. So shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Okay? So the only thing we could do is just watch, you know? But these people, especially these Edomites, you know, they see, okay, it's over with. You even see it in the comment boards. A lot of them saying it's over with. America's finished, which is facts. Okay? We there. We right there. Okay? And they're going to try. Let me just get the scripture. To make, you know, Lord, when I get my point across in this video. If not, I'll make a part 2. But this is Revelations, right? Let me see. And it's 6 and 15. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks and the mountains. And the main ones that's going to do that is the elites of Edom. Okay, the elite banking families, man. The Illuminati, like you people like to call them. They are already hiding. Okay, they're hiding whether it's in their underground bunker, their sea bunker, or their bunker up in heaven, aka space. Because the scriptures say that they're going to be hiding in those places. But you also got these people, you know, thinking, you know, get out the city and all that. Like I said, if you could get out the city, go ahead. But don't think, I'm speaking, you know, mainly to you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. Don't think that you're going to escape. You know, that's just, you want to be in a good case just because you do that. Okay? It says, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb, which is Yahawashi, for the great day of his wrath is come. And who shall be able to stand, man? And this is what time we in the time of the wrath, man. Okay? The Lord, like it says in Psalms, the 7th chapter, is angry with the wicked every day, man. Just because you see things, it look like it's going normal, doesn't mean anything. The Lord's just letting the sins build up more and more and more. So when he does come back and destroy his place, as he's about to do, he'll be completely justified. But this is the word for stand. The word is hestemi, and I'm gonna just get the point, right? If you go down to B, it says to stand. Continue safe and sound, stand unharmed, to stand ready or prepared. And that's what you see a lot of people like this dude, you know, right here thinking they're gonna do. They think because, they stack up on gold, which that's not another bad thing, but I'm speaking to you Israelites, don't put your faith in these things. Stack up by stacking up on gold, fleeing these cities and going out. A lot of them are talking about fleeing the cities and going out and buying going in lands where nobody lives at, basically rural areas or in the woods or something. They're saying all these things now. They do all these things. And what made me do this video is because a lot of a lot of them is heathens, okay, which that's understandable. They don't have a savior or power, but you also see Jake on there saying I'm trying my best and all that, man. So let me go in the comment board real quick. A lot of these are Edomites. That's a Eve right there, the so-called black woman. What she's saying, is it's not a good strategy. But I seen the other day was you had some Jakes on here, man. You have Jakes. See, I'm literally trying. Everyone wants 10 grand an acre though. She put a smiley emoji. It's Jakes on here that's with this, man. Okay? But you can't flee the Lord, man. Okay? You can't escape Yahawah Shema Shai. I don't care how prep or prepared you think you are. Okay? You can't escape him. Let me get a scripture real quick. Right? Now my phone froze. Salakia. Yeah. This is okay, but this is not what I wanted, but this is good. It says every way of man is right in his own eyes. Yeah, I'm gonna stack gold and I'm gonna have a point A, point B, point C. So when shit hit the fan, I'm already have it planned out. Okay? That's how these people think. Every way of man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pardons the hearts, man. Okay? The Lord can control everything. Okay? And real quick, if I could find that scripture. Let me see. Oh man. All right. Hold on. I believe it's Sirach, the 39th chapter. Let me go see. Bear with me real quick. Yep, this is good. This is Sirach 39 and 16. It says all the works of the Lord Yahawah Shema Shah are exceeding good, and whatsoever he commanded shall be accomplished in due season. This is what's happening right now. He said he said the RFID chip is gonna come to pass. You're gonna have racial tensions. You're gonna have Egyptian against Egyptian. You're gonna have food shortages, and all these things are coming to pass, and it's coming to pass in the appointed time that the Heavenly Father wants them to come to pass. And may say, what is this? Wherefore is that? For at time convenient they shall all be sought out. As commandment the water stood as in heat, and at the words of his mouth the receptacles of waters. It says, at his commandment is done whatsoever pleases him, and none can hinder. When he will save, the works of all flesh are before him, and nothing can be hid from his eyes. He seeth from everlasting to everlasting. There is nothing wonderful before him. Okay? So the Lord, okay, he knows, okay, he knows your thoughts. He knows what you plan on doing tomorrow or what you plan on doing tonight, whatever you want to do. He knows it already. Okay? So these people thinking, they're going to flee, and escape and hide, escape the judgment, especially you Edomites and you other heathen nations, but especially, the wicked of our people, man. Okay? The Lord gonna catch you, man. You can't escape the Lord, man. So let me get another scripture. 2nd Ezra 16. Another thing people talking about, grow your own food. What good is that gonna do? What good is growing your own food in the midst of a apocalypse, man? A apocalyptic collapse, as they call it. What's that gonna do, man? You think some thieves is gonna go right past your house and say, "Oh, he growing food, just leave him alone"? It's not gonna work like that. The Lord gonna put the spirit on people to do certain things out here, man. Okay? So let me see. Right? Bear with me. What good is that gonna do? You can flee all you want, but the Lord is gonna get your number, man. Okay? I mean, not get your number. He's gonna seek where you at, man. 2nd Ezra 16, right? And 46, right? Therefore, that 45 says, and therefore they that labor in vain, for strangers shall reap their fruits. So if you plan on growing food, people gonna come and snatch that up and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, right? And take their children captives, for in captivity and famine shall they get children. And they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, and their possessions, and their own persons, the more will I be angry with them for their sins, said the Lord Yahawah Shemel. This is speaking to you Israelites, because the Lord's not talking about them heathens, man. Because you Israelites, you got a savior, man. You got a way out of this. All you have to do is repent. Okay, you doing all this other things, prepping and relying on money and the government, all that's madness, man. And the more you do that in the eyes of Yahawah Shemel, the more you piss him off, man. Okay? The scriptures clearly say, right? The scriptures clearly say, I just lost my train of thought, man. Jeremiah 10 and the 10th chapter says, learn not the way of the heathen, man, and be not dismayed at the signs of the heaven, man. Which the signs of the heaven is, these different blood, these moon cycles, okay, the chariots, the so-called UFOs, okay. But point blank is not learn the way of the heathen. The heathen, they do that, man. Just let me get that, Let me see. It's not. It doesn't really matter, you know. If they do that, because the Lord's not dealing with them. Of course they're gonna do that. You had that happen back in the ancient world. Every time these heathens saw that we were coming through their lands and taking them down, and we was calling on the names of Yahawah Shema Shah, what would they do? It was the main thing they did. They would always flee and try to hide into the mountains, man. But eventually they got caught. Why? Because the Heavenly Father knew what they were gonna do. Okay? It's the same thing. Just like Jezebel, the wicked queen. The Lord had it out for her wickedness, because she was against, I believe it was Elijah. She had men of the Lord killed. She was wicked, man. So the Lord had it out and said, what's gonna happen to Jezebel? Okay, Jezebel, she's gonna be eaten by eaten by dogs, man. And that's exactly what happened, man. Right after the Lord said that was gonna happen to her, what happened? It happened. Okay. Another example was the Southern Kingdom. Our people, the Southern Kingdom, during the time of the Babylonians. The Lord, our people was basically being wicked. I believe it was under King Hezekiah, if I'm not mistaken. And the Lord sent Jeremiah to warn our people to repent, and turn from their wickedness. If they didn't do it, he was going to send them into captivity under the Babylonians. And what they do, they bucked up against it. They tried to trap Jeremiah up, threw him in prison, and they didn't listen. So what happened? The Lord sent the Babylonians on them. So the Lord says something's going to happen to a particular nation. It's going to happen to you. You can't do nothing to get out of it. You can't escape nothing. Okay? And real quick, trying to find that scripture. Seek. Bear with me. I should have got it in the blue letter because you got to go through all this. Yeah, it's Matthew the 6th chapter, but I'm going to part 2 it.